So, tell us about your marketing efforts into Japanese retail. What are you? How do you reach?
So we go every year to Japan and we meet with securities houses. But also we've done 2 dealer events with retail investors. And we were told, when we were preparing for this that, don't worry, the Japanese retail investors, they don't ask questions. So during the meeting, we had several questions, actually. So it was, it was very telling because it showed the level of interest that they had for Africa and the impact that we were having on people's lives. So we really enjoyed that and looking forward to do another one, Japan.
Fantastic. Okay.
I forgot to ask what was the most interesting question.
Yes, well, and what was the most interesting question?
Well, we had one question that was quite interesting. It was, we're going to... Okay, can I do that again?
Of course.
Yes,
okay. So one question that was a bit difficult for me was, we're going to Egypt for the summer. What are the places that you recommend that we see? It was difficult because I've never been to Egypt. But it was, really enjoyed the 1 or 2 hours that we had with them.
Fantastic. Okay. And what's the range of possibility for you as an issuer in terms of the products, the maturities, the size of transactions that you can print?
So we're very flexible in terms of size. As I said, 50 million yen we can do, and much larger transactions we can do as well. In terms of structure, we do barometer callable transaction. It has to be 6 months minimum. But in terms of, and maturity, we are very flexible. We will accept all the maturities. We've been focused on fixed income products. So we do vanilla, unstructured, FX linked, interest rate linked. So we've done PRDCs, range accruals, step up, callable, deep discount bonds. And one thing that we have not done is equity linked transaction. And I know that there is a lot of interest for that. We will gauge the market, and if we see that there might be an opportunity for the African Development Bank, it's something that we'll certainly be looking at.
Have you received inquiry for equity linked, and what kinds of things are investors or dealers interested in showing you?
We've been shown many transactions in the past, since the beginning, more than 20 years ago. But the message that we gave to the market was that we were not ready to do equity linked transaction. But as I said, it's something that we want to do now. The most important thing at our level is to be able to value those and just make sure that we have the systems to do those.
Great. Just trying to think if we need to... We're doing pretty well, actually. I think we've mentioned most of the things that...
African currency.
Yes. So, yes. And how does your overall issuance connect with your mandate to develop African capital markets?
Well, it's quite interesting because we do African currency linked notes. Basically, you do have emerging market investors that are looking at specific countries and currencies and wants to make an issuance, take an exposure on the currency without taking exposure to the credit risk. So they're looking for AAA rated issuers, and as the African Development Bank, we're well suited to issue African currency linked notes. So in that way, we've been helping those investors, setting a foot on these capital markets. And on the other hand, what we do as well is we do local currency domestic type of transactions. So we've been quite active in a variety of currencies. So on the FX linked, we've done Ugandan shilling, Nigerian naira, Ghanaian cedi, Zambian kwacha, Botswana pula, so a wide range of currencies.
Great. And how diverse is the range of MTN private placement markets, pockets of investors that you've been able to reach?
So we have the Japanese retail market, but we do also have the life insurance and pension fund in Japan. and also Korean and German life insurance companies that have an interest and that have been buying our notes, and also in the a growing US based type of investors.
On the US investor side, can you what types of transactions have you been able to sell into the US?
We did actually a transaction for which I think it was BNP Paribas earned an award on this by MTNI. So it's some type of asset divisions structure.
So
can you do it again?
Just
okay.
Do it again, because just to get the size.
Okay.
Just because to illustrate the point that
okay.
as well as the tiny retail,
right.
also accessing institutional private placement in size
okay.
in the US.
So yeah. So in addition to the smaller type of transactions that we're able to do in Japan for 50 million yen, we do larger size transaction. We did an overall transaction of about $900 million this year with BNP Paribas that was placed in the US.
Perfect. Great. And how do you keep dealers and investors motivated and engaged with the African Development Bank name? And how do you communicate your funding needs to them?
So we have a funding grid that is updated on a regular basis, and which is shared with them via emails, but also posted on Bloomberg and via Origin, which is a platform that we joined last year. And one thing that I want to highlight is the fact that we have a scorecard. So the largest provider of private placement on an annual basis to the African Development Bank get to be one of the leads for our global benchmark transactions.
Great. Let me just have a look. Scorecard.
Social.
Yes, so that's the. Have we covered everything just before we go into the future-looking stuff?
No, there was question number 4 that we haven't done.
Perfect. Yes. That's right. So yes. So how and where does the AFDB's issuance fit into the broader, growing, sustainable, green capital markets?
Well, social and green is printed into our DNA, and we have. No, let's need to do that again. Sorry. So what was your question? Because your question was different. Actually, your question was different.
I'm throwing
sorry.
It by just changing how I asked them.
Okay.
So it was how and where does African Development Bank issuance fit into the rapidly growing sustainable and social bond theme?
Okay. Do you want me to do that?
If you're ready, if you want to take a moment to look at your points, and then I can ask it to you again.
Okay.
So, how and where does the African Development Bank issuance fit into the rapidly growing sustainable and social bond theme?
Well, it is printed into our DNA. Our strategy has very strong alignment with the SDGs. And actually, there is an independent study by the United Nations that shows that if the African Development Bank Group and all the stakeholders focused on Africa were doing the high fives, close to 90% of the SDGs would be. No, that is not the thing. I'm sorry.
Can I tell you something that's very reassuring? We only have 2 questions left, and everything else is great. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me just. Okay, I'm just going to keep it simple. So, it is printed into our DNA. If you look at the high 5 priorities of the African Development Bank, there is a very strong connectivity with the SDGs. Actually, they cover 14 of the 17 SDGs. So our objective is, 1, to promote inclusive growth onto the African continent. And when we talk about inclusive growth, we're talking about inclusiveness in terms of geography, in terms of gender, and also in terms of age. And the second objective is to ensure that growth is sustainable by helping Africa transition gradually to green growth. So basically, our 2 objectives, 1 is social, and the second one is green. So we launched a green bond platform in 2013. We've been issuing every year since in dollars, Swedish krona, and also in Aussie dollar. And last year, we did our first